Hello and welcome to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. Looking at our top stories, former Main Street Washington Executive Director Sarah Grunewaldt begins her new role as Johnson County Public Health's Outreach and Engagement Coordinator on Wednesday. The change marks the end of her nearly 10 years as the group's leader after she moved to Washington from a historic building rehab gig in Boston. The small community was a change of pace and did not necessarily make the best first impression on her visit. I was here on a Monday or a Tuesday, and repeatedly the host apologized that nothing was open, Grunewaldt said. And I'm like, you're not selling the town very well if you're apologizing that the restaurants aren't open on this day. But she was so gracious and sweet that you just kind of looked past that fact. Still, she ended up accepting the position and moving to Washington, knowing nobody in town. The following years saw huge progress for Main Street in Washington, including some highlights like restorations to the State Theater, various challenge grants, and dig grants. With an undergrad degree in museum science and master's in historic preservation, Grunewaldt brought extensive experience in the field. Main Street Washington enjoyed a renaissance of historic preservation initiatives under Grunewaldt's leadership. The preservation side of things, the grant side of things, is where I felt strongest. It was really the area they felt weakest when I came on, she said. The amount of investment that has happened in this downtown is unreal compared to where it was at when I started. We're talking around $15 million of investment. While she led many of those historic initiatives, Grunewaldt said she couldn't take the credit for all the progress, much of which she said came from group's effective board members. It's their organization. If they decide they didn't like something I was doing, they can tell me to stop at any time, she said. We had a wonderful core of volunteers that were very passionate. As she prepares for her new position in Johnson County, Grunewaldt said much of her work would resemble the role at Main Street. Communicating with the public, news releases, network building, and marketing are all mentioned in the brand new position's job description. One aspect will be notably missing, however, historical preservation. That doesn't mean Grunewaldt will leave the field entirely, however. I think there's definitely opportunity for me outside of my role at Johnson County to consult privately to help people, or if they have questions for grant writing, she said, I'll be able to pick it back up if I ever so choose. The Washington County ISU Extension Office and the Washington County Women in Agriculture Advisory Board held a new event Saturday that took women on a tour of farms and local businesses. The first ever Women in Ag Farm Crawl was designed as a networking and learning opportunity for women. It included 4 stops in the greater Washington County area, each one showing a different side of agriculture. The stops were Hilltop Dairy east of Wayland, where the ladies got to sample some of its dairy products, Geode Forestry in northern Henry County, where the group learned about Iowa's forest and timber industry, the ISU Southeast Research and Demonstration Farm near Crawfordsville, and lastly, the Revasor Winery, which included a wine tasting. During the stop at the ISU Southeast Research and Demonstration Farm, Farm Superintendent Cody Schneider told the group about the experiments Iowa State University researchers conduct at the farm. He said the farm is 274 acres, and on that land, the researchers conduct 47 experiments each year. Most projects cover an acre of ground, though some of the larger ones cover 5 to 10 acres. One of the largest ones is a 40-acre project studying tile drainage. Water quality is a hot topic now, and one of the things we're studying is how to minimize nutrient loss downstream from corn and soybean production, Schneider said. For our tile drain project, we're looking at ways to improve yields and limit the nitrates that go through the tile. The ISU Southeast Research and Demonstration Farm was started in 1987 and is one of 13 such farms ISU runs throughout the state. This particular farm conducts research covering a 21-county region and involves 30 project leaders, mostly from ISU. Schneider said research projects cover every aspect of farming from weed control, insect management, seed productivity, and more. Though it focuses on corn and soybeans, the farm also studies raspberries and nut trees and has a 5-acre plot dedicated to organic farming. The Washington County Riverboat Foundation has closed the fall grant application cycle with 46 submitted applications, asking for a total of $9,308,295. The board will invite 5 selected applicants to present their grant requests September 14th at the YMCA in Washington. In May, the Riverboat Foundation awarded almost $3.5 million to 17 grant recipients. That was our top stories. It is now time for obituaries. Donald Leo Rice of Danville passed away on August 28th at the age of 28. According to his wishes, there will be no formal services. Edwin J. Augustine of Ames passed away on July 31st at the age of 81. A celebration of life is pending for some time later this fall. Joanne Shannon of Houghton passed away on August 27th at the age of 84. A funeral mass will be held at 10:30 a.m. on September 1st at St. John's Catholic Church in Houghton, Iowa. Bar Holtkamp Funeral Home is in charge of the arrangements. We're going to take a brief break, and when we come back, we will have the weather and sports.
Since 1905, Kelowna Cooperative Technology Company has helped our community stay connected with the latest advancements in clear, dependable telecommunications services. KCTC provides rural Iowans with access to high-speed fiber internet, as well as phone, television, computer repair, and cybersecurity solutions. We're also proud supporters of local organizations and area schools within the community. KCTC, keeping Kelowna connected.
Welcome back to the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens. We have sports coming up, but first, the weather.
The weather is brought to you by Jacqueline Areola, LLC.
Come visit Jackie in her new location downtown. She is ready to serve Washington and the surrounding community. Today has been a beautiful day with sunny skies along with a high of 82 and a low of 55. Tomorrow will be very similar, just warmer with a high of 87 and a low of 61. On Thursday, it will be a few more clouds than the days prior with a high of 88. On Friday, it will be almost exactly the same, just 1 degree warmer, a high of 89. Saturday, there will be a few more clouds and a bit cooler with a high of 85 and a low of 61. That was the weather. It is now time for sports.
Sports, brought to you by Fairway.
The Washington cross-country team got off to a hot start in 2022, 1 year after a huge year from the program. The defending Southeast Conference champions took their talents to Anamosa for the first boy-girl meet of the season, and both teams walked out with second-place finishes. The Demon Girls were just 28 points away from the top spot, which was instead occupied by Solon. The Spartans, last year's Class 3A champion, scored 39, and the Demons finished with 67. Freshman Iris Dahl impressed in her first meet. She crossed the tape in 20 minutes, 45.6 seconds, the 9th fastest time in the Demon Girl cross-country history. Quincy Griffiths finished 9th in 21 minutes and 32.8 seconds. Lauren Harrick was 14th in 22 minutes and 14.9 seconds. The next four runners all finished in the top 26. On the boys' side, Micah Reese broke his personal record with a third-place time of 16 minutes and 53.8 seconds. That helped the Demons edge Solon by 10 points for second place. Cedar Rapids Kennedy flew to victory with 7 runners in the top 14. Tyler Alderton and Andrew Reese finished 16th and 18th, respectively, to give the Demons 2 more in the top 20. Racers from around the area gathered at 34 Raceway Saturday for another night of dirt track racing. It was an eventful night on the track, as always. There was a plethora of cars partaking in the nightly event, and in the late model class, an area driver took the checker flag. Washington's Jeff Gungerich took the top spot, edging out Keokuk's Tom Elston and the rest of the field for the late model feature win. Gungerich drives the 15-hour late model for Lynn Richard of Mount Pleasant. The Union area 8-player teams are moving up on in the list in the Cedar Rapids Gazette Prep Football poll. Local squads Waco and Winfield Mount Union both moved up in the new rankings. After a pair of blowout victories, Waco is now up to number 2 in the poll. The Warriors smoked Southeast Warren 42-20 in Week 0 and stomped Springfield 57-22 in Week 1 to start the year at 2-0. Winfield Mount Union has done much of the same, minus a pair of shaky first halves. The Wolves stormed back in the second half to take down 2021 state qualifier Audubon in Week 0 and then broke a halftime tie to vanquish Moravia 64-50 in Week 1. WMU is now number 10 in the Gazette rankings. I'm not a sports guy, but our reporters Hunter Muller and Andy Krutzinger are. We have the Southeast Iowa Union Sports Talk Show every Wednesday at 2, so that will be tomorrow. We also will be releasing a coaches show for Washington coming up, so a lot of sports content coming up for fall sports. This has been the Southeast Iowa Union News Break. I'm your host, Nick Steffens, and I will see you next time.